Welcome to Rookie's Cookies, episode 2. Today, we're going to make Chinese rolls. And in order to make Chinese rolls, these are the ingredients that we require. So, come on over, let me show you what we're going to use today. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of pepper, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of salt, basically salt to taste, 1 teaspoon of chili pepper, red chili peppers, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, and we have about 2 dashes of soy sauce. We're also going to need the meat, obviously. Now, with the meat, you can use ground meat. I choose not to use ground meat because I feel that it is a little more processed than actually cubing up meat. So what I did was I got me a rump roast, a good cut of meat, and then I diced it into tiny little pieces like that. I feel it's a little better in texture versus processed minced meat or a ground meat. Then I have jalapeno peppers and onions. I've used red onions. I've used about half an onion, about 2 jalapeno peppers, and these are all, I think the right word is julienne. It's all diced up into little pieces. Next we have curry leaves, again diced up. We have next ginger garlic. I'm using the paste because this is a lazy cooking channel. I'm not gonna peel and mash it up and do all that jazz. So ginger garlic right here. And then we are also gonna need mashed potatoes. So what I did was I took a medium-sized potato and cleaned it up and cut it into thin slices. This cooks faster. So here's the potato, and let's get into it. Okay, so we are ready to start with the filling. So first thing we're gonna do is a dash of oil. I'm using vegetable oil. Pan's hot. I've got some vegetable oil in there. And into that, I'm gonna add the onions and jalapeno peppers. So yeah, there goes that. Also gonna add the curry leaves. Okay, so we're gonna give this a little bit of a stir. What we're looking for is for the onions to get translucent. Into this, what we're gonna do is also add the salt and pepper. So there goes the salt. And there goes the pepper. And we're gonna do the ginger garlic paste. So we're gonna do the garlic first. About half a teaspoon of that. And then about 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. So just about that. So we've got all that in there. I'm going to turn the fire up a tad bit here and then give this a good little stir. Now, while I'm doing this, remember I told you that we're going to need some mashed potato. So what I did was I got some water and put the potatoes in there. No rocket science there. Boiling the potatoes so that it gets really soft so we can mash it and add it to the dish later. Okay, so the onions, jalapeno peppers, and the curry leaves have been sitting there for about 2 minutes. They're ready to go. What we want to do right now is add the meat. Again, this is a diced meat that I diced myself. We're going to add all that in there. And to this, we are going to add all the spices. So first we got the chili powder, which I called red chilies or whatever before. That's going to give a little kick to it. Then we have the curry powder. Add that. Here's the turmeric. Gonna add that. And lastly, about 2 dashes of soy sauce. So there we go there. This needs to be mixed well. You can also marinate this with the ingredients, with the spices that I talked about. Okay, the meat is done, and what I did was I just added the mashed potatoes. Like I said, I was boiling the mashed potatoes, and now what we're going to do is add this and mix it well into the meat. Okay, here we go. I've done the meat right now. As you can see, it's kind of got a pasty consistency, and this is what we're going to use as the filling. I just tasted it. It is amazing. So this should be a good dish coming up. So here we go. Okay, so now the beef is done, the filling is done. What we're going to do next is make the wrap. So these are kind of pancakes that we're trying to make, and these are the ingredients that go into play. Now I have 3 eggs in here, about 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I have about a teaspoon of sugar, about a teaspoon of salt, about half a teaspoon of pepper, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. This all goes in here with some milk. I'm using whole milk. So let's get into it. So I'm going to add the eggs first. Okay. And into that goes the pepper, goes the salt, that was sugar, then the salt, and next the turmeric. Okay. To this we're going to add the flour. Now remember, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Let's try to get this in here without making a mess. Okay, so with the milk, what we want to do is add pretty much double the quantity of flour. So 2.5 cups of flour, 5 cups of milk. Let's hope this holds it. What I'm trying to go for is to try to get at least 20 Chinese rolls down here. Okay, so we're going to get this a good blend. There's other ways to do this. I prefer to use a blender. It's the easiest way to go about this. So let's get this all sealed up. Hopefully this doesn't go crazy. Okay, I think we're good with that. We are going to look for a not a very watery consistency, but kind of a pancakey consistency, which is what we have achieved right now. You can probably add half a cup of flour, all-purpose flour, if you wanted. I like my crepes, my pancakes, thinner, so that we can enjoy the meat instead of just the filling, the wrap, the pancake. So we're good to go here. Next step is to make the pancakes. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is make the pancakes. So this is the way we make the pancakes. So you wanna come a bit closer so you can see the pan. And put that about there. Okay, so I'll cook this for probably 30 seconds. I'm gonna flip it real quick. As you can see, it's browned a little bit on the back end, which is perfect. You don't want to cook it through and through, and you want to keep it just there for just a few seconds more, and the pancake is done. So one down. And what I'm going to do is show you kind of the limit that I put in here. This is half a cup. You don't want to make it too thick. You just want to fill the pan up with a thin layer, and pretty much making pancakes or crepes or whatever you call it. Okay, so as you can see, pancakes are done. I probably have about 25 pancakes. I lost count, but we have about 25. Now I do have a little more of the batter left, and I'm going to use that to coat the pancakes. Now, this is the consistency you want. One side's a little darker than the other, so we're going to put this face down like that, and then you want to get a close up with this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get some of that batter right there and add it all around here. This is how we turn this into a roll. Now we're going to take about a tablespoon of meat. You don't want to overdo this because you might break it, but that's pretty much what we're going to do. I'm going to put that up there, and then we're going to start rolling. So rolling happens like that, and then we're going to fold the sides like so and complete it with that. Get it into shape, and we have our first roll. So that times 25. Okay, so as you can see, we have 27 rolls. So I've already wrapped them. I thought I had 25, but we got 27, which is great. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bread them, and I have breadcrumbs here. Very important. The breadcrumbs can't be seasoned. They have to be plain breadcrumbs. So there's a lot of different varieties of breadcrumbs. When you go to a supermarket, you don't want to buy the seasoned ones because those are for Italian cooking and whatnot. This is plain. So I'm going to dump a bunch of this into a container. Then take a couple of these, maybe 3 of these guys here, and I am going to coat them. So I just like to give them a little brush. You want to make sure that you get the sides and also the body of the rolls. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a couple and then go into frying. So that's done. Get that in there real good. Then we're going to drop it in the breadcrumbs, close the lid, and give it a little shake. Now you have to be confident on your rolls because if you don't wrap it real well, they will come apart when you do this. So make sure it's wrapped real good. And then you take it out. And you have these guys right here. You want to take a closer look at this? This is what it should look like. So these are the breaded rolls. There you go. So, okay, so now as you can see, we breaded all these guys. So that's 27 yummy rolls. Now, oil is smoking, very important. Oil has to be hot. You're literally frying these for seconds. So, show you how that's done. That's about right. And that's about right. Okay guys, that's it. We made us some Chinese rolls. It's a little bit of a tedious process. It is not the easiest dish to make because there's a lot of prep involved, a lot of rolling, a lot of wrapping, and a few different stages to it. But ultimately, it's worth it. Trust me, it's amazing. So here we go, guys. I made a few of them here, fried them, and the rest I'm gonna freeze and eat later. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Have a good one. Rookie's Cookies!